guys, what's going on? So today I just wanted to show you guys how you can take out your front axle for any engine swap that you're putting in your 88 through 91 Honda Civic EF hatch. So yeah, let's get started. First thing you'll want to do is come down by your wheel and take off all 4 lug nuts, or however many lug nuts you have. For my base model, I have all 4. You want to get it a good way off the ground so your wheel can slide right off. I'm going to go ahead and take off the lugs. Now your wheel should come freely off. And now we're going to take off the upper control arm. It needs to come off for our axle to slide right out. And then this whole has to drop down. And then as well as your coil or your shock, that would have to come out as well. So let's start with the shock. All right, guys. So now since your coil is unscrewed from up top, now what we're gonna wanna do is go ahead and unbolt this fork that's holding it in. There's a nut on this side, and then a normal bolt on this side. Just go ahead and take that out, and then we'll move on to the next step. All right, guys, helpful pro tip. If you can't find anything that would fit on this, focus, on this larger nut, I recommend using a crescent wrench. It's a lot easier. It'll get the job done. I just got it loosened enough to where I could show you guys. Yeah, go ahead and take this out now. Probably should have used some PB Blaster on this. It's coming out all right though. At this point, she should be able to just come freely out like this. It's a slotted, decently long bolt. And on the other side, the nut should have came out. Let's go ahead and thread that through for now, and we'll use this later once we're done. Now for the second part of removing this fork, you have I believe a 10 mil bolt right here, or 12 mil, I will check in a second. And then that is just, closing this together around the tube on the coil or shock, whichever one you're using. And it's just clamping it. So we just want to be able to remove that, and then this should come off freely. It was way off. It was a 14. So get your 14 in there. And go ahead and pry her loose. Ooh, she's stuck on there. Hold on. She's stuck. If you guys need to, go ahead and put your coil back up and screw down your top nuts, just so it could stay in place while you take this clamp off. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about here in a second. This is what I'm talking about. Go ahead and just screw them back in, just to hold them in place. And then now, get you all set up right there. Now, we should be able to ooh, this thing is ugly. Oh my goodness. Oh. Right, there you go. Yeah, PB Blaster is recommended. My goodness. Get this out of here. Now this should come out pretty freely. Alright guys, once you get that that bolt out of here that's holding in the clamp, the last thing you guys are gonna wanna do is there's a bolt right there that's holding in this tube, which is for the brakes. And then there's another bolt right there. So there's one right there, and then one under here, and then there's a welded on nut. So then you want to take off those two while the shock is still on this clamp, so that it has, you know, so you can, you know, it stays in place. And then you also want to leave in your nuts so it also doesn't move. And then we should be able, after that, we should be able to take out the whole entire shock system. Alrighty guys, so go ahead and grab your 12 mil, and then I'm gonna just get it off here. These you don't really want too tight. Don't torque them to spec or anything, you know. You just want them to not come off, but, you know, stay on. Now this should be able to come out very freely. Yep, sweet. Now you can get that tube out of the way. And then there's one right under there that goes into that welded nut. Should go ahead and get this. And it might be a little harder. You might need someone to hold the coil for you. So let me pick back up when I get this out. Alright guys, I think I was able to get it out. You just have to hold it in so it doesn't move around while you're trying to loosen it. But I almost got it out. Just twisting now. It's being stubborn. And then that should come out. I don't want to let go. Gotta take that out. And then now, that should all come out. And then we can go ahead and take these off. So we can remove the coil itself. If your nuts get stuck, yes, I know, if your nuts get stuck. If your nuts get stuck, you can always lift up on it and then go ahead and try and get them out. Oh, there it goes. Uno momento. As you can see, I almost got it out. Just gotta lift up on them. And the shock should fly right out. Well, first you want to take off the fork. Getting a little ahead of myself. Go ahead and lift up on it. This thing should just wiggle right off. No pressure, no nothing. As you can see, fork is off. Just gotta wiggle it off, and then if it wants to be nice, that'll move. That'll come out like so. That's your fork. And then now your shock comes out. Bada bing, bada boom. Sorry for the unfocused quality. And then now you're left with this. So now from here, what you're going to want to do is, it's up to you which ball joint you want to take out. I found it easiest to do this upper ball joint. So that's what I'm going to show you guys how to do. So first off, you're going to want to start by taking your 12, I'm pretty sure. 12? Nah, 10. Take your 10 mil and take these two bolts off. It's like a little cover covering the ball joint. And I will get back to you guys once I am done with that. All right, once you guys go ahead and get this cover off of right there, as I was talking about. You're gonna see a castle nut right under here. Let me check what size you guys are gonna need. Let me check. Pretty sure it's gonna be a big old size. Yeah, 18 or 17. Use a 17 mil. Goes right on there. You'll be solid. Story of my life. All right, guys. So once you guys get that off, this is the ball joint we're gonna be moving up, and then this whole thing is gonna drop. Lastly, what we're gonna have to do is take this tie rod off. It's 2 bolts. Let me check the size for you guys. 17 again. You guys can reuse that 17 and take out these tie rod bolts. Mine are stuck. Sheesh. Get back to you guys once I'm done removing those. Personally, for me, guys, I like to use a breaker bar. It's gonna probably be the most helpful in a lot of these applications. Got that one broken loose. Go ahead and move on to the next one. Get that off. Go ahead and move on to that. For this last one, since it's underneath the tie rod, I really recommend you use a crescent wrench. Or not even a crescent wrench, just use a wrench. And then if you can get a breaker bar in there or anything, then I would get that in there. But using even a flat, not even a deep socket, but even just using a flat is just not gonna work. So this would be the last step we do before we lower it and then pull out our ball joints. I'm purposely not removing this until last, just so I can explain it. You will need to remove this, but no, there's a special way to do it, so I'm gonna wait until the end to do that. I ended up using a breaker bar again. You can do it, you just gotta fit it right under there. So once this bolt is out, this whole thing is dropping. All right, y'all, after just, tapping out that bolt with the, hammer, this should come loose. And then this whole mechanism should come, down, but it's not because the axle is, obviously holding it in its way. So what we need to do now is grab our impact with, man, I got plans for this car. I really do. I got big plans. You want to get yourself 1/2-inch drive set. Yep. And then I believe you'd want to use a 3/16. And that. Oh, nope. Went too small. A 1/1/4. Man, I'm just off today, huh? That goes right on there. And I would also, recommend you have someone press your brakes, so, that you can actually do this without the rotor moving. But I saw a trick somewhere. You can just shove into there, and now it's not moving. As you can see, now it won't move. So now let's take a bit off there. Make sure we're in reverse. Bolt should come right out. Now you can push your axle right out. This should come down like that. Alright, so you might want to wiggle it a bit. Sorry guys, really hard to record. Almost out. All right, got it out. Now you want to go ahead and, for the transmission side, you want to take off this retaining clip. It's like crimped on. And then once that's on, you should be able to pull this boot right off, and then your axle's off. And then what you're gonna want to do is just re-put everything back together, and then you're good until, you know, you want to replace your axles. If you're doing an engine swap, put your new axles in, throw these out, do whatever you want to do with them. But these are no bueno no more. Grease everywhere. Let me go ahead and uncrimp that for y'all, and I will be right back. Once you get that retaining clip off, you should be able to just pull, and that sucker came right out. And that's how you replace your axle, or take out your axle on a 88 through 91 Civic sedan or Civic hatch. I think it's time for me to go clean myself up and put all of this back to where it goes.